Hello, welcome to the new video. In this video, I wanted to speak about the topic: what is love? What actually love is, how does it look like, and how to experience it. I don't have anything prepared, like with any video I do. I don't have anything prepared, and I don't have a belief system about it. I don't have anything fixed. And I would just like to share how I view things that are happening in the world. So, I've heard many times from people, so many times, people speaking that they have never experienced true love, right? From now on, when I will be saying love, I will hope that I will not repeat myself, but just know that when I say love, I mean always true love, right? Love is only love when it is fully love, right? When I'm using words, I mean the meaning of the word, the full spectrum meaning of the word. The word in its entirety, in its entire meaning that's possible. Okay, so when I use words, just know that I truly mean them. Except for the times that there are words that are just sounds and that they don't have any meaning, right? So, if we take this word love, I will now explain how it looks like and what it is in its full, mature, whole form. How does it look like? Who here has ever heard, or how many times have you heard people saying that there is no love, there is no true love, that love doesn't exist? Or I've heard many times mothers speaking. This is a common thing. Like, there is no unconditional love, right? True love, unconditional love. There is no unconditional love except the one that mother feels for their own children, right? And to me, this is just not true. This is not true. This is actually still not love. And I will explain what I mean by that. So, I hear many times people in all areas of life speaking about what love is, how it looks like, and what does it mean to them, right? And actually, when they explain it, they just prove how they are actually perceiving and experiencing it, right? And many times people, especially nowadays with this new age community and everything being so accessible, all the information, already all people, we are like so connected informationally that it is so accessible, this information, that now everybody already uses all the words. Everything that new that comes on the scene, it's already integrated in the society. So I just wanted to say that many people use words like love, and they will say that love is the highest power, right? Love is the highest power. But then they will not explain what this truly means. They will not prove with an explanation from their own life how this is even experienced, right? Because if we are just speaking about theory, if we are just being in this abstract theoretical world where we are just talking new words, we are actually not being grounded. When I see people speaking about things and they cannot explain with their own lives experience how that looks like in their life, that to me is a sign of ungroundedness. And because this channel is about groundedness, because there is too little groundedness on this planet, not enough, very little, I am here. So people say that love is the highest power. I agree. But anybody can repeat this mantra, right? Anybody can repeat this sentence. It doesn't mean that you embody it and therefore truly are conscious of what that truly means, how it is experienced. Because anybody can learn a definition right now, right? So you can go to some person that will use all the same words. They can copy what I say, but they don't know what they are saying, right? And so now just listening and resonating with the mentality of somebody, it's not enough. Because there is so much delusion and so much distraction and so much fakeness that's conscious and mostly unconscious, that now you have to not only resonate with the mentality and philosophy of people, but also with the energetics of your body. How does your body truly respond? Do you energetically, bodily resonate? Feeling-wise, experience-wise in your body, do you resonate truly with what the people are not just speaking, but what they're emanating? What kind of energy are they emanating? Not listening the words, but feeling how we feel around these people. So love, the highest power, I agree. But how does it look like? Like, I will explain all these things. So then another love is authenticity, like the highest form is authenticity. Being authentic is the highest way of being. These kind of things, right, are being spoken in society right now. Love is the highest power. You are love. The contrary of love is fear. Authenticity and love, power, sovereignty, all these things. Everybody, when you're listening, if you're listening just to the words, you will be so easily deceived because information is so easy accessible and with the intent, not because society is so good and the ones controlling the society are so good, but because just through that, anybody speaking what they want to speak, then there is much delusion, right? This is intentionally done. That many channels on YouTube are just open to society. And for instance, mine is closed. My reach into society is closed. And all of the people's reach that truly speak about some serious topics from a grounded, embodied place that truly destroy all the illusion, delusion, and fakeness in this world. These kind of channels, they don't have reach, but everybody else has so much reach just for that intention of bringing more delusion into this war of disinformation. So let's break this down. What does it mean? What is love? What is love? What is love? Not from a hypothetical, theoretical, abstract point of view, from the mind view, where everybody maybe has their own definition or the same definition, but they experience it totally differently from each other, right? So let's break it down, and let's be grounded about it. How does it look like? How does love behave in life? So I was once a part of some internet school for a short time where there was a lesson about love. And I was so happy about it because this is like my favorite topic since I was born. But not in a romantic sense, even though I don't have a problem with that. I like being romantic. I think being romantic is just a natural part of life. you actually not being romantic, is you resisting romance, because romance is part of reality, part of groundedness. So I have heard also many times that, so people tried to describe love to me, and they said that they have love for a mother, they have love for a brother, then there is a different kind of love for a colleague, there is a different kind of love for a friend, there is a different kind of love for a pet. And people say maybe that even love is a passing feeling. Oh, now I feel so loving, but I don't feel like loving anymore. I feel so in love right now, but I don't feel the love anymore, right? These kind of things. And this to me is just all a sign of not really knowing love, people not really experiencing and knowing love. So, what is love? What is love? So I feel like, because I have seen so many people already speaking about human evolution, and love is a part of it, one of the biggest part of it, the key to it, to human evolution. But how does it look from a place of embodiment, from the place of groundedness, wholeness? How does it look like? And tell me if you will resonate with this. I'm really, really interested in it. How do you perceive it in your body, in your experience? So, what is love? What is love? I feel like I was meant to speak on this topic. Like, since I was born, I never was a romantic kind of dude, even though romance was always a part of me. I never was, like, I never watched romantic movies. They don't turn me on. It's like, okay, whatever. I'm not watching them, but I don't have a problem watching them if they are presented to me. So I'm not overly romantic dude. And I'm not speaking this from a place of being a romantic, some kind of special artist dude or whatever, right? But I always have known in my life a few things when I was a child. I was constantly speaking that the biggest power in this life, the biggest power, the biggest sign of strength in this life is an open heart. It's a soft heart, not being weak. But being soft means being open. I will explain later what it actually means truly. Because the moment I mention soft, people are like, oh, this man is pussy. But I will explain what that even means. Just bear with me. This is one thing. The biggest strength in this world is an open heart. Having an Still being capable of being a soft human being, no matter what the fuck happens in your life, no matter how much shit you have went through, you can still be a soft person. You don't close yourself, and you don't become defensive and hard in the face of life. So, being capable, I will mention this later. The other thing that I wanted to say, that was always with me also, was that, so one was this, that the biggest strength in life is to have an open heart, to have a soft heart. And the other was, like, I always perceived love. That thing. I already wanted to go to the main topic, but what I truly wanted to say as the second thing that I always knew is that I always, since I was a child, why I mentioned me not being overly romantic, because I was not fantasizing, never about love or relationship or needing to have a woman or desiring it very especially or something like this. Like I never was searching for a woman or a relationship in my life, because if I'm really very independent person. I'm really independent. I love my own freedom. But I always knew, me being very independent, I still always knew deep down inside, I always knew, I couldn't explain it to myself because this desire was not coming from me. It was coming from God, or at least from me, but I wasn't aware of it because maybe that was my plan coming to this life, right? But when you come to this life, you don't remember what's the point of being here, at least not fully. And so I always knew, I always had this knowing. That's why I always say, follow what you have always known to be true for you. This is the biggest advice you can give to another is start facing the fear of following what you have always known to be true for you. If you want to understand this more deeply, just watch my previous video. It speaks directly on this topic. So what I wanted to say is that I have always known, without any influence from this world and any my own desire, without that, I always have known that I was meant for great love. I was meant to experience true love, unconditional love. I always knew that since I was a child. You have to know that, like, in my family and in my area of life, in my group of people where I was brought up, people didn't experience true love and they didn't spoke about it. They didn't believe in it. So I was truly not influenced, because if everybody is speaking against it, actually, maybe speaking for it, but not actually embodying that in reality, actually doing against it, right? People say I love you, but they don't behave like that. And people even say unconditional love, but they don't know, but they have many conditions, right? But they're just unaware. Or aware and they don't want to admit, right? They don't want to face themselves because people are mostly chickens. So I was also a chicken my whole life. So it is what it is, right? We were all chickens at some point, and the point of life is to face that. To prove to yourself your strength, your resilience, that you can face you being a chicken, and through that resolving your chickenness. So always known, I have always known that I was meant for some big love, some very powerful loving experience. And even though nobody was like this that I know, I always was like this. I always was like this. I always was like this, and even was like not hiding away, but somehow secretly preparing myself from what I could and what I knew about life and about sexuality and about partnership and about women and people in general. I was secretly preparing myself for that. but not from a place of even understanding it or doing it intentionally or forcing myself to perform the best or be the best or whatever, but just knowing like this is a part of me. I don't know how to explain it better. Even though I have just few experiences and maybe some women will not agree with me, and I totally get it, that maybe I was not the best or great, not even great, but not even good, but I feel like I was made to be a lover. But just for the right person, right? For the one. For her, I will be the best lover on the planet, not because I will be performing or wanting to be, but because we will just click. And for any other woman, I will not be. For some, yes, I will also be, because it's just how it is, right? If you're good, you're good. But for some people, you will be the worst. What can you do? Like, I'm not bragging, right? I was not perfect my whole life, or am still not, and I don't even care about it. Like, I truly don't care how people view me. And I don't even care how my one views me, to be honest. I just feel that when people truly embody love, everything falls into place. And so let's go on now on the main topic of what is love, right? What does it mean to love? So to me, love always was and always will be, and it is a state of openness. It's not a loving feeling that comes and goes. It's not an unconditional love that I just have for this human, but not for this human, right? Mothers say, I have unconditional love for my son or daughter, right? This is what mothers say. I have unconditional, just listen to these words. I have unconditional love for my children. I know what love is, right? They will speak like this, but they don't have that unconditional love for their husband or somebody else in their family or somebody else in the society. So what kind of unconditional love is that if you're actually, the condition is that they have to be your children, right? You're saying that I am unconditionally loving my children, but the condition for this kind of love is that they need to be your children. So, so to me, this is just a sign of delusion. I'm very sorry. You saying, I love this person unconditionally, right? I already heard many people say, Urosh, I only know true love. Yeah, right. You love unconditionally this person, but the condition for this unconditional love is only this person, right? And so I just wanted to say that life is so simple to me, seeing all this delusion people speak from about not being aware of it, trying to consciously or subconsciously confuse people. And I can't be confused anymore. In my childhood, you could confuse me. I was confused my whole life, but not anymore. That's why I'm here right now speaking this lesson, to resolve this confusion. So, what does it truly mean to unconditionally love? What does it mean? It is not a feeling that you manipulate just for somebody. It's not something that you can experience just for someone. And it's not something that you decide when you will experience it. It's not like that. It's not a passing feeling. Like anger, maybe, that comes and goes, for instance. Right? It's not like that. This is not love. This is not love. Love is a state of openness. And yes, even that definition is known to society. People will say, love your partner the way he is, right? This is a sign of love. But on embodied, grounded level, they will not accept them. They will speak all the right definitions, but in practicality of life, they are not being accepting. And they don't even know. Or I don't know, maybe they know to some degree. To some degree they know, but to the most part they don't. That's why they speak this mumbo jumbo. So, a state of openness. A state of openness. How it is actually on a practical, embodied, energetic, experiential level, how that looks like, this is a very serious topic. It's not something for romantic people. It truly is the highest power on the planet, and you will see why. Love is a state of being. It's not something that comes and goes, or it can be manipulated and decided upon. You don't have that power. You don't have that power. If love is the highest power in this existence, just like people say, do you truly think that you possess that and that you can manipulate that, decide when you will give it and when you will not give it? Do you think that you are God? No, you're not God, right? We are all just a speck, a little stone in the whole mosaic picture of God, right? Even enlightened people are not God, right? We are all a part of it. We can all harness that energy and channel it through if we are open for it. So, what is the state of openness and how to achieve it? Right? I see so many people use all these words about how love is the highest power. And then they will speak about evolution, human evolution and spirituality. And they will sell you some kind of method. They will use all these words that I use, but then at the end, they will speak about some kind of method where you gain some kind of spiritual, paranormal capabilities. So you needing to pay for or do some kind of technique, method, philosophy, whatever, that's apart from life. Here is life, it is the highest method. A state of openness, love, is a part of it, but hey, then there is a method that you have to do in order to get there, right? There is a method, a technique, a philosophy that you have to study and discipline to in order for you to live life. This to me is just mumbo jumbo and ungroundedness, even though people that speak about these things maybe can look like they are so grounded. So much delusion. So this state of openness, what does it really mean on experiential level? How does it look like? How to achieve it? There is no method to life. There is no technology. There is no substitute. It is all just a bypass, a dead end. There is no way of you truly opening to life. There is no method to how to open in life, how to open to life, then genuinely, spontaneously, facing life as it is. There is no method to it. I have already spoken in all of my videos, especially the latest ones, where I have crystallized this teaching of life, which is free and it will always be, because it's not mine. It is God's, and it belongs to everybody. So the point of life, plus one more thing, how good is some teaching, how good is spirituality, philosophy, and all these techniques in life for spiritual evolvement, how good, how enlightening, how true, how powerful they truly are if they are not for everybody, right? Like, people sell all these techniques and methods and viewpoints on life, enlightenment, evolution, spirituality, but then this is only accessible to only some part of people. Only to some part of people, the people that understand that lingo, the people that have more time in life where they can do this method, and the people that are maybe more mental, where they will spend even time doing those methods. To a specific group of people, it's not like for everybody, right? Because it's not already a part of your individual experience. It's something extra that you need to find out about, which is just crazy. Because life already is a technology, it's a method, and you are already on the path of enlightenment. I'm just here to clear your path, to help you clear your path, to see it more clearly. It's not something that you have to add to your life. Hey, there is a secret thing that you didn't know you have to do in order to live in this life. There is no such thing. You are already on the path to enlightenment. There is no other path. It is just this one. So, but you just don't see it clearly. You are very lost and confused and buying into all these distractions that are being presented to you. You will understand if you stay with me throughout this video what I speak about. It's very simple. So, power, right? Resilience, sovereignty. It sounds, so good. Everybody wants it. This is the pinnacle of evolution, right? But what that actually means? How can resilience and power be truly recognized? It can be only recognized, acknowledged. Its value can be seen and recognized only when it is tested. Only when it is tested. Only when power is tested. The test wanting to destroy the power, and the power being capable of facing the test, however it looks like, but not from a place of having a defense, but from a place of openness, where you accept the challenge and move through it. This is a sign of power. This is a sign of resilience. There is no method to bypass this. If you are taking a method when this kind of experience in your life presents to you, if you're taking a method, you are bypassing what was presented in front of you. You're being a chicken, but you maybe look like a very grounded spiritual human being, even though it is just a mask. And then you say that people have this kind of masks, right? There is so much delusion. People will say all the right words, try to seem like they know all the tricks, but they still live in some kind of trick and sell it to people. Conscious or unconscious, to me it doesn't matter. This is how it is. So how does love, this word love that some people really hate on it, how this word love actually ties into all of this, how it is connected and experienced? So if you were listening to me, I said that your sovereignty, which nobody will deny, right? The point of life is you were lost in life and now it's to become sovereign. You were dependent and now become independent, right? These kind of things. So where you're truly free from all the bondage, right? You're free from suffering. So how to come to sovereignty, how to be liberated of bondage, how to be powerful, independent, human being, not just man or woman. Enlightenment is for the soul. It truly is. It is not connected to the sexes, right? So how will you know? How can you start cherishing something in your life if you didn't lose that, right? We all know that you maybe have something valuable in your life, but because this came into your life for free, everybody had that experience. You have something in your life, but it came to you for free, and because it stayed with you for some time, you started taking it because coming free and it stayed with you, you took it for granted. You start taking it automatically for granted, right? Like it's here, even though it's valuable. And maybe I say it is valuable, I truly don't recognize its value. Because I only start to truly recognize that when I lose it, right? You only, like, what's the saying? You only know what you had when you have lost it, right? This is true. This is a very enlightening knowing, recognition. And it's a part of life. It's a very good teaching tool. It is teaching us something. And it is teaching us that actually worth needs to be deserved, needs to be tested. And when it's tested, it was deserved, right? It gets deserved. You deserve it by being tested in it. For instance, if you have something for free and it is easily accessible to you, you don't recognize the worth of it because you didn't have to fight for it. You were not tested in it. You didn't have to deserve it. You didn't put work for it. You didn't have to put yourself in it, your work, your labor, whatever. And so you don't recognize the worth of it. You don't recognize the worth of it. And only when you lose it, you recognize what was providing for you in this life. Because then there is a part of your life that you have lost, and it's like, wow, what kind of effect this had for me? Only when you lose it, because you didn't work for it, you didn't deserve it, you don't know the value of it, and then when you lose it, you recognize that value, right? And so the point of life is to experience that, not because I say that's the point of life, to experience you losing something, but because this is teaching us worth. Because when you recognize the worth of something, then you defend it, you protect it, you cherish it, you adore it. All these values that people try to teach from the mind, not from embodiment, and then people performing them because they are being indoctrined and following some kind of strict rules of how we should be. No, all these things are natural to us. All these values don't need to be taught. I even also did video about that, how values don't need to be taught. Because there is innate value in life. It is not about teaching it, but recognizing it. And how do you recognize it? If you don't recognize it when it is given to you, then you have to lose it. You have to lose it to learn the lesson. You have to lose it to learn the lesson of value, to recognize the value of it. Right? So there is life on experiential level already teaching us all of this. We don't need a guru or a teacher teaching us values. Life itself through experience, it's already teaching us value of life. It's already speaking to us, hey, there is innate value to life. No matter what you think about it, no matter if you teach it or not, there is innate value of life. Look at it. I will not take something from you. This is how life is. This is how God is. This is what love is. So love, it's not all about lovey-dovey, being beautiful and kind and loving. This is just a small part of love. So I forgot what I was speaking about, so I will just continue like I always do. So this state of openness, right? This state of openness. Oh, I was speaking about value. Okay. So you need to forget. Sorry, you need to lose something from your life. Because life, God, Creator, it's teaching you the value of it. Because you didn't recognize it when it was given to you. So you lose it. And only then, when you're striving for it, when you show, when you prove on all levels holistically with your individual experience that you deserve it, then it is brought back into your life. But this time, you will not lose it because you had to fight for it. You were tested if you know the value of it or not. Because if you don't know the value, if you don't pass the test, you will lose it again. This is the test. Have you recognized the value of it? And if you didn't, on experiential, energetic, holistic level, you will lose it. This is how life is. This is what love is. This is what love is. Love is love. It's not something that is just easy given to you. You need to prove to yourself, to God, to life, that you recognize the value of it. Because only if you recognize the value of it on an energetic level, it means that you truly see it, that you are ready for it, and that you can accept it in your life. Wow. Pretty crazy. This is pretty crazy shit. So it's what it means to be a clear channel of God, right? You're really intelligent. So how to come to all of this value that's already innate, that God has set for us, that is providing to us? How to recognize truly yourself as that which is alive, as that which is life, and recognize that you truly are immortal. Maybe this body will perish. I don't know. I don't know. Just because it did perish for many people, it doesn't mean that it will perish for me, this body. I don't know. But that which is alive, that who I am and where I speak from, and it is sustaining this body, that is immortal. It is invisible. It is only visible through me moving this body, right? This body being changing and moving and behaving. Apart from that, it's invisible intelligence. So how to recognize yourself as life, as the innate value, and then speaking from embodiment about values, teaching values without trying to teach them from embodiment. How to come to all of this? And how to speak, and what is the spirituality, this clarification of enlightening path that's actually accessible to everybody because it is a part of this life and everybody is already on it. So if you're speaking about some kind of method and technology and spirituality and philosophy that's apart from life, you're actually not speaking from the highest power because you're not speaking for all the people. Right? And the highest power made all the people. So if you're not speaking to all the people, you're not speaking from highest power. Because there is already life as the highest method that we are already walking. This is the evolution path where you're coming from. You're not recognizing yourself as the life, as the power, but you being lost and confused and being distracted and walking this path of enlightenment towards embodied recognition of you as life, as power. And so if you're speaking about method that's apart from life itself, where all the methods are apart from life. Only if you're speaking the method of life, but that is for free, because it is already a part of our experience, and it is truly that which if changes, we ascend as humanity from slavery to freedom. From division to unity, right? What are you teaching if you are not teaching that? Then you're just selling delusion, packaged with the same words that I use. So you're actually very dangerous, very dangerous. So where does love and a state of openness that I have described, because love is a state of openness. Love is not you kissing somebody. Yes, that is a part of it. And love is not you hugging somebody or having sex with somebody. It is a part of that. Love is a state of openness. It is a state of openness where you, because of that openness, allow life force flowing through you. That is love. You being open and therefore being a clear channel of the flow of life, of the flow of life force, of that which is God, and of that which connects us to God, of that who you are, of what you are, your true identity. You being the child of God, you being the speck, the stone, on embodied vibrational, energetic, holistic level, and not on the belief, wishful level, on the embodied level, recognizing yourself as the stone of the whole mosaic of the creator, of God, of life, universe, mother nature, whatever, right? So how to come to that? And like, this is already something that you are a part of, this openness, but you're not fully open. You're partially open. I have never seen a totally closed person in my life. People always have parts of themselves that they are open to and parts of themselves that they are closed to, right? There is no, if you ask me, you can't be 100% closed to life. If you are 100% close to life, that means that you are 100% denying the flow of that which gives life to this body, and that's not possible. If you are close to 100% to life, then you die, right? So it's not possible to be, it's not possible to truly deny God. You're just fooling yourself. You're just living in some kind of delusion. You're always accepting God. Like, people that think that they are atheists, or just because they don't want to believe, or they don't believe that there is creator, like, we are all a part of it, right? We're all a part of God. We are all a part of creator. But you don't use these words because it is experiential to you, and you don't have the spiritual or religious lingo about it. That's it. It is how it was with me. I never knew that I'm very spiritual. Only when I learned the spiritual lingo, I have recognized that, oh shit, if you're like this means you're truly evolved. But I didn't recognize that as important because I was always like this. Not like this. I mean, I was born pure, but then I was lost. I lost my purity. I was distorted. I was living in fear, but I came back to it. And this is the journey of everybody. And there is no method apart from that than life itself. So, what has happened? We were all traumatized. I have explained this story 10,000 times, and I will explain it 100 billion times until I'm here on this planet. We all experienced trauma because babies, children, newborn, early childhood people can't survive on their own because we are very fragile beings. You're not like a horse that's born and already runs. We are very fragile beings. We need 150% dependence on our caretakers. If you get rejected, if you are abandoned, if you are left alone, if nobody is giving you care, if nobody is taking care of you, you will die. We are so fragile. And so trauma is the best, is the strongest tool of elite of how to bring division to this planet. Because if you don't allow people through health and through school system, in this system, elite doesn't allow that people through health and school system become sovereign and clear. No, you go through school, you go through health, and you get fucked up, lost, and sick, and maybe you even kill yourself, right? This is the system slave that we live in. And so everything is said that you can't experience growth. And so because everything is set in this slave system that people don't experience growth, they remain traumatized. And so the first being that set this all in place, probably Satan, or I don't know, people say that there are aliens that behave like a Satan or whatever, it doesn't matter. That, which one was the first one that set all this in place, because then we live in a slave society. There is no space and place to evolve from trauma, and so then trauma is being transmitted like a disease, like cancer, a cycle from generation to generation, because we are not in a place, in a society where you will be resolving that. Nobody actually resolves that, because all of the health and school system it's set in a way that you don't resolve it, that you actually maybe get it even worse, or just keep losing yourself in trying to resolve it. That's how much delusional this system is. And so, because of that, the trauma that was inflicted upon people never gets resolved. It's being transmitted from generation to generation, from people to people. And what is an effect of trauma, right? It doesn't matter what happened to you, when it happened to you, or how it happened to you. Everything that matters, no matter how you explain it or how you remember it. What is the effect of trauma? The effect of trauma is because people were weak and damaged, not being them whole selves, living in fear. They were not powerful enough, because this is the trauma. If you hurt somebody, right? If you damage somebody, if you attack somebody, if you really hurt or harm somebody, they become weak. And if you don't resolve that, you stay weak. And so when every time the newborn baby, a new person, a pure soul that comes to this life, not living in fear, being whole, liberated, and aligned with the moment, expressing whatever intuition, God, creator, life demands from it, when this kind of whole being acts like this from a place of spontaneity, they trigger the weak people, the harmed, traumatized people, right? Like a pure child with their own purity, seen as a full spectrum, liberated expression of humanness, triggers your caretakers because they are not capable of that. They have rejection of themselves. They live in fear of themselves, in parts of themselves, in rejection of parts of themselves. So you, being so free, you mirror to them their own rejection. It is being triggered in them. Oh, fuck. I could be like this, but I'm afraid to be like this. Being so pure and spontaneous and liberated in life, this remembers in me something, but I'm too afraid to face it, right? Purity triggers purity. Purity then wants to be expressed, but people have a layer of fear on top of it. Oh shit, I will not do that. I will not do that. And because people don't want to do that, they don't want to face life, they don't want to face their own rejection of life. What do? They just then bring you down when you were a child. They ignore you, abandon you. And so because then you were ignored and abandoned in those same parts, or even more parts, some additional parts or some different parts, it doesn't matter, because they didn't accept their own rejection and face it. They rejected you. And so because you had to survive, because you had to remain attached to them, because what good is enlightenment and being whole and all this life if you don't even survive, right? So survival is always first. So you need to survive. Therefore, I need to remain attached. And so if I am whole, I will trigger my parents and then they will abandon me. I could die. So if I want to live and even experience this life, this is integrated in our experience as like the most powerful fear, because this is what even allows us to have then this experience of life, right? If you don't have this fear of dying, how will you then even experience life if you're not trying to survive? It's impossible. It's very natural for us to be like this. But then you were traumatized. Fear was instilled into you through you being rejected and then being in fear of being again whole and being one with that part that was rejected. Because if I am whole, they can again abandon me, reject me, or maybe till now they just were hurting me or fighting me or bashing me or like just verbally or physically attacking me, but maybe this time they can kill me or truly abandon me. This happens. This happens. And so we all experience the same trauma on the energetic level. What is the effect of trauma is you now living in resistance to your own guidance, because when you were flowing, when you were aligned with your guidance, that triggered the people that are not in flow with their own guidance. So because they didn't accept themselves, face their own rejection, they rejected you. And so the effect of trauma, of the unhealed people, this cycle that continues is people don't face themselves, so they don't face you. And then you live in this fear of yourself, where you are afraid to face yourself, where you are afraid to follow yourself, where you are afraid to act upon what you have always known to be true for you. So then you live in fear, right? That's why people always say that fear is the contrary of love, right? It's not love and hate, it's fear. I agree. I always knew that, but this is why, right? Now you're getting the picture of why. Because you being in fear is you being partially, you're being closed. You're being closed to that flow of life. You're being closed to some parts of yourself, of the life that you are, of the power of sovereignty that you are. So the effect of trauma, no matter what happened, I just made a video about it. Check it out. I will link all of this in the end. So the effect of trauma, of the unresolvement of trauma, because this society doesn't provide resolvement, it actually encourages unresolvement. So the effect is hurt people, and the hurt people remain hurt. And what hurt actually means, it means people live in fear of expressing themselves. The parts of themselves that were rejected, and they kept then rejecting them themselves because they needed to remain attached to a caretaker to survive. And so there was genuine fear of survival, of surviving, of not wanting to experience death. Death, right? So it's all really common. It's very, very genuine and natural to be like that. So you're then living in this closed state, right? And all of the people of this world live like this. I was living like this my whole life. Everybody lives like this until you fully become open. And so then people from this state of dissociation, non-integration of that dissociation, speak about life, speak about values, teach about life. How can you teach about life if you are not accepting life? If you're still rejecting life in yourself, and you teach them about the value of life, it's impossible. That's why we have constant problem in the world, because we speak when we don't know about. We speak too fast. We haven't achieved embodied integration of our dissociation, which is just embodied enlightenment, and we already speak about it. The biggest problem in this world are people that speak when they actually don't know. This is the biggest problem on this planet. And there is so many people. Most of the people are like that. So you're now living in fear. Everybody does. I was my whole life. There is no denying that, right? And nobody wants to face that and accept that, because even I felt weak and exposed and felt a little bit shame when somebody pointed out that to me. You're being weak. You're being sick. Nobody wants to hear these things, right? It's natural. When you are weak, you're weak. You don't want to hear that you're weak, right? Nobody wants to hear that. It's normal. But it's not normal to remain like that. It's normal to experience and accept that. But it's not normal to remain like that. So you have lost your own power through being traumatized. You were given the power because God gives it to everybody that comes to this life. The fact that you are born is the sign of power, of life, of God, that you have life, you get life, you receive life. But because you're traumatized, you lose it. And maybe even those parts that you get in life, then later, or were given to you, or you didn't lose, but because you didn't lose, you don't recognize the value of it, and then you lose it. Even more, because of you being blind to the value of what you have. So either you already lost it through trauma in your childhood, or then you even lose it because you don't recognize the value of it, because you didn't have to fight for it. It was given to you. So you don't know what it takes to be on the level to have this in your life. You don't know what it takes to be on the level for something valuable to come to your life because it was given to you. But only when you lose it, you recognize that you have lost it. And only when you lose something and then again gain it back, you then cherish it, right? So the point of this life is to recognize yourself as power. And how will you recognize yourself as power if that power is just freely given to you? You can't, right? Because we only recognize what we have when we lose it. And so the point of this life is to lose it. You do lose it. You do lose it through trauma when you're a child, or it is taken away from you because you're then later in life still unaware of what you got. You lose all of that. And then you lose yourself. You lose the power in your life. And you lose the power as yourself, that which you are. You lose that. And then you either keep losing it and die, or truly suffer and then die your whole life. Or you start facing life as it is. Or you start accepting life as it is. Or you start, so you have lost all of these things because you were living in fear. So you living in fear means I am fearful of leaving my whole power, so I will be rejecting my own power, right? I will be rejecting my own power, so I will not experience power in my life, so I'm losing it. And so people that live in fear, they are weak. That's why we say that they are weak. In my country, they even say like, he's so weak, he's even scared of his own shadow or something like this. It's even so literal, like people are so weak because they didn't accept their shadows, right? It's a literal sentence saying it's it truly specifically points to why you are weak, right? Even though it's an ordinary saying, it points that you are weak because you don't accept your shadow. You don't accept the parts that are in your shadow. That shadow being there because you're afraid to experience the life force, that which you are, the power, but you rather keep it hidden. And so then living in fear, rejecting yourself, being weak, how can you be powerful if you are not experiencing your own power, if your own self? It's impossible. So this is already happening in all of our experience. And so why there is no method to that? Because the point of life then, if you look at it, it's just to face that fear. The point to come to how to come to power is to only start living that power, be aligned with it, be open to it, and you only become again whole when you experience the fear, when you face the fear, your resistance, your own rejection to being whole, your own fear of following your wholeness into embodiment, right? So you only become whole by facing the fear that you have for being whole. This is the only way. And so how to face that fear? How to face that fear that you have that's keeping you in repression of recognizing your own power because you're not living it? How will you become conscious of yourself if you're not expressing and acting upon your life? Right? If you're not experiencing, what are you then being aware of? Some kind of information. This is not really awareness. Awareness means first embodiment. Oh, then I'm aware of that. This is awareness. This is valuable awareness. Awareness. And so, how to resolve that fear? Why I always emphasize that there is no method? Because you can only fully listen to this. You can only fully meet fear. You can only fully meet fear, fully face it, and be fully met and then tested. If you will fall, or you will face that fear and recognize that you truly are the indestructible power that you are. How can that truly happens if you are not facing life as it is? Just listen to this. If fear is being presented around the corner, and I see it, and I pick a little bit, I prepare myself a little bit, right? I have a method or a technique or some kind of boosting drink for it, or ayahuasca or whatever, right? If I am preparing myself for fear, when then I'm facing it, that fear will not be experienced fully, right? If you are prepared for the situation where you would have to be met with fear, but then you prepare yourself, you already pick a little bit, maybe by doing some breath work or training how to face something, or being on some kind of drugs or whatever, right? Or you already knowing what will happen. If you are preparing yourself for meeting fear, that fear will not feel very fearful, right? If things are not spontaneously from a place of unpreparedness met, if you are prepared for fear, fear will not be fully met. If you are prepared for experiencing fear, fear will not be fully met, fully experienced, fully activated. Because when do you get most shaken in your life by fear, in your body? When do you get most shaken? Oh shit, when? Oh, fuck! When does it happen like this? Only when you're unprepared. Only when you're unprepared. Only when you're spontaneous and relaxed, not thinking that anything can happen. Only when you're being in flow with life, relaxed about it, spontaneous, genuine, not thinking about anything, not preparing yourself for anything. Only when you're being like that, spontaneous, only when you're being spontaneous, you can truly meet fear fully. Only in that way you can fully meet fear. It can be fully activated, fully met, and therefore you fully tested. Will you, now that full fear is activated, will you face it or will you be a chicken? And most people just distract themselves and run away from it. But there are people like you, if you're here, you're like that. You're a fighter, you're a warrior, you're not a chicken. Maybe you were a chicken because I was also a chicken. But you're not anymore. You're becoming mature. And you want to face that, and you do face it. And you are truly then tested. And you truly then recognize your own worth. Oh my God, through what kind of fear I had to go through. I did experience it. I remained open, loving to it. This is what love means. This is what openness means. I am being open to the biggest fear in my life. The biggest is because I was genuine about it. I was following my own guidance. I was not trying to prove myself. I didn't try to manipulate. And I wasn't preparing myself for it. It was genuine guidance, and I was unprepared for it. Because of that, it is genuine fear. I'm open to it. I'm truly being loving. I meet it fully, and I walk through it, still being guided. But by what the present moment demands from me. This is how you face fear. That's why I'm constantly saying there is no method to life. You cannot bypass the unpreparedness of life. You cannot bypass what needs to happen, and you don't even know that it needs to happen or how it should happen. How can you dissolve fear in your experience if you don't fully meet it? And how can you fully meet something if you're not being spontaneous about it? Because we all know that there is no more fearful experience than when you're being spontaneous about it. When you're being spontaneous about it, fear will truly shake you. So how can you then fully meet this fear if you're not fully being shaken? If you are trying to bypass that which is life, if you're trying to bypass with some kind of method, with some kind of training, preparation, boosting, drugs, ayahuasca, mushrooms, or whatever, how can you meet life as it is if you're not being in the moment? If you're not being in the life, if you're not being one with what is? And how can you come to that moment if you're not right now being one with what is? How can you come to that moment that needs to happen? That will happen only if you take all these steps that need to happen for it to realize, to manifest. It means that you have to now start being guided from a place of being genuine, right? You right now have to be guided, being aligned with what is demanding from you in the moment, following your intuition, your life force, what the moment demands from you energetically, fully holistically. What's the strongest in you, what you have always known to be true for you, following that your own knowing, being guided by that. Only in this way You being present every moment in your life, step of the way, by acting upon your genuine guidance, you can be in flow in life. And only like this, you are unprepared for the next moment. And only when you are unprepared for the next moment, the opportunity for you can arise to maybe experience a fearful moment if it needs to. And only in this way, that fear will fully activate. Shake you up, you will be tested. And from then on, you can truly see what you have gone through and recognize, oh my God, what I have gone through and still survived. You start to recognize only in this way your own worth, your own value. You recognize the innate value of life. You recognize yourself as the power of life. And because we don't know until you die everything that you have to resolve, we don't know. I don't know what perfection is, but I know what will bring me to perfection. And that is openness. So you remaining open to this way of living, which is just you becoming more and more open to what you have already known. So there is no method apart from that, right? It's already integrated in your experience. You just have to start living in a way where you stop resisting life and start accepting life, be guided from that and be open to it. I have proven in this video that only in the method of life that you are already living but not fully and doing but not fully, you resolve all of your traumas, all of the fear will be met only in this way, the conscious and unconscious. And only in this way, when you have done the real work, the toughest work, when you have truly met the resistance fully from a place of spontaneity, only in this way you recognize your power fully on embodied level. And this is actually a proof of you going all the way, of you then truly embodying unconditional love. I'm fully being open to the current guidance that's in every moment and open to everything that I need to face. And how can you face it, meet it, if you're being prepared about it? You can't, right? So the state of openness is the state of you proving love. You are proving love to yourself. You're fully being loving to yourself by fully being open to life, to yourself, and being open through every test, through every fear, through every facing, through every guidance, being open to that. Through being that, we could say fake it till you make it. Through doing that, being like that, not faking it, but being like that, you come to be like that. You being dedicated to being open, not disciplined. Life is not about discipline. You cannot discipline and plan these things. That's why I don't like discipline. It's about being dedicated. Be dedicated to being open. Because even if you say discipline, constantly open, you will not be constantly open, right? So discipline is just a little bit of illusion. Just be dedicated. Go step of the way. In small chunks in your life, start opening to your own guidance and start facing whatever that guidance wants to face. All of those fears, be open to it until you have proven so much resilience to yourself that now you're so powerful that you can just stay open into your finalization, into your final purification. That's it. This is what love is. This is how you know love. This is how you experience love. This is how you embody and teach love from embodiment. This is what love is on experiential level. And this kind of being that's truly open, living in a state of openness, in a state of unconditional love, they are like sun. They are like a sun. They are beaming that everywhere, all the time, because a state of openness is open all the time. If it's not open all the time, then it is not a state of openness. Then you're still operating in fear and being closed or partially closed, right? So a state of openness is you being like a sun, being open, channeling life force, God, because you're open, and that is being felt, and you have proven that to yourself, and you have recognized the worth of that because you have walked the path of facing fear fully and being open to your own guidance and see what good it brings to your life. Everything was confirmed and proven to you. You have done it for yourself. By just you facing the fear, in that sense, moving away and allowing for God, Creator, to reveal to you your innate value. My God. Pure magic. Pure magic. This is what love is. This is what love is. This is what openness means. I can't choose who I love and who I don't love. I love everybody. I am unconditional love. I am the heart of this world. Maybe I'm not the only one, but for sure I am the heart of this world. This doesn't mean that I will tolerate every physical relationship. I'm not stupid. I have recognized this value, finally. It was tested. And now it will be defended. That's the point even of this video, for you to defend your own value, your own life, love. Right? It's precious. These are not just words. This is not philosophy. I'm not teaching philosophy. I'm not teaching theory or methods, and I'm not selling anything. I'm helping you remember how you are in actuality. That's it. On the experiential, energetic level. This is invaluable. It doesn't have a price tag. I should be charging millions for this, and even that is not enough, right? And I don't even care for that. I would just want to survive. I just want to survive, that's it. I don't need a lot. So, if you want to donate, if you want to help a brother out, you have links down below where you can connect with me, work with me, or just donate, because maybe you find it valuable. Even small money, it's enough. I don't need a lot. This is groundedness to me. When I see people speaking about love and performing, being loving, look at me, I'm love. When I see this kind of people, I see delusion. I see ungroundedness. Possession, actually. Demonic possession, to be honest. Being grounded means being human, means being whole, means being fearful in that. And proving that, not because you're performing and then trying to prove, but because you're truly spontaneous like that. And so love is not an act or a feeling that you do or feel for some time, but it is a state. It is a state of openness. Love is a state of openness. And being devoted to that until it becomes, I wanted to say your second nature, but it is your first nature. It is your default. It is our natural way of being. And it is already happening to you. You wouldn't be here if you weren't recognizing that it is happening to you. This is happening for everybody, but people don't recognize it. You are just recognizing it. And now just devote to it. This is what love is. This is how love looks like. You are accepting. So loving doesn't mean loving or acting lovingly or feeling loving, but acceptance, dedication, alignment to your own guidance every moment. And then still being open when that guidance meets fear in your life. And then still being open, going all the way, and living in that manner. This is the way of least resistance, and it is already happening in every person's experience, and there is no method to it, because you have to be unprepared and spontaneous and in flow with it to come to it. That's why all the people that sell methods are selling delusion. I'm very sorry. This is how it is. Or some kind of philosophy or therapy, right? It's just all limitation. This is what love is. And so a truly loving person will be the one that's aligned, that's accepting, being actually mature and responsible by responding to what the present moment demands from them. So being aligned, and if this means that if the moment demands from you, because people say in this life, oh, being angry is low vibration, so let's be loving, because this is the highest vibration and authenticity is the highest virtue. This, if you think projecting from mind how life should be, and you saying that science confirmed that angry is low vibration and that authenticity, love, is higher vibration, if you think that you can perform this and then truly be that, you're just living in delusion. If the moment in life demands from you, by you being aligned, that you need to be right now almost ready to kill, be angry about it, and face maybe you're a fucked up neighbor that's been fucking with you this whole time. If you need to be like this, you will be like this. You are human. You are ready to be whole. And if this means ready to kill, be angry, defend, yell, scream, shout, or curse you will do it because this is what alignment means. This is what love is. And actually, you then being angry because you're being aligned is you being most loving ever. Even though on the superficial level it looks like the contrary. Actually, you being aligned, being angry because alignment demands anger right now, you being angry with somebody because this is what is aligned, is you being unconditionally loving because you're being open to your own guidance and maybe facing some of your fears or expectation of this world, which is just fear driven, fear projected. So you being open to your alignment, following through all the way, is you being fully loving, and that can look like full spectrum humanness. It can look like kissing, it can look like sex, it can look like caressing and massaging and whatever, being soft and cry or whatever. But it can also look like being hard and not to fuck with, right? Fuck around and find out, right? If you need to, if the moment demands from that from you, and you being like that is you being mature, you being whole, you being responsible to the moment, to alignment, being aligned with the current present energy that's most alive, strongest in you, the power in you, listening to the power in you and testing that, not performing it when you think it needs to happen or be shown, but by being aligned to it. Only then genuine fears can be met. If you are performing it, you're actually not being triggered by any fear, because when you're performing it, you're being in a controlled environment. But when you're being aligned and asked from something to be shown, then because you're being genuine about it, true fear will be activated. And only then, if you continue being open to that, you can fully meet it and fully step into your power, test it, become truly resilient. I see people trying to be whole from a performance viewpoint. They will cry, they will get angry. You can see all of the parts of humanness in them, but they are performing it because they have seen this kind of videos or read already somewhere this kind of words. And then they are performing it. But still, they look whole, but they are actually constantly resisting their own alignment. So they're just living in fear, but trying to outperform it. It's impossible. There is no method to life. There is no method to life. These kind of people are very resistant living. And I don't want that. I want least resistance. I want a simple life, because life is simple. And I want to be in a relaxed state, because I know I can face life. I don't have to perform about it and prove to anybody. Somebody that's relaxed, truly relaxed, it's because they are powerful. They know they can meet whatever comes. So they can then be aligned, right? And through dedication to alignment, you come to fully then embody it and live from it. And because of that, being tested along the way and coming to that relaxation. That's why I say be devoted to openness. Be open. Be devoted to life. What is love? This is love. This is what truly loving means. This is how unconditional love looks like. It means openness to life. I'm customizing my own jeans jacket, and on the back it will be written, "Oneness with life is power." This is my saying. You being open, aligned, and tested if you will still be aligned when you are met with fear, because that fear is what is aligned right now. And you proving that you are open and truly loving, then you can receive these kind of things in life. If you are not on energetic, experiential level, proving that you are worthy of love, how can you be met with that? It's impossible. That's why manifestation is the delusion. You first have to energetically embody love, and then you can be open for it, to receive it. Before that, it's just delusion. People selling courses and making money off of it, living in delusion and leading the blind. This is what an open heart means. You recognizing your own worth. So when I said the biggest power is to have an open heart, why? Because you truly recognize your own worth when you're being tested like that. And so because you are then going through all of that, you cherish it, you adore it, you recognize its value. And not just that, you're also a sign of strength, because no matter of all the shit that happened, that didn't leave a burdening imprint on you. It just left you wise and still whole, full spectrum. You're capable of being however alignment demands from you. You can be soft, you can be like a baby. I can cuddle and kiss like a baby. Or I can be a man, an adult, right? That's the point of life. Not because I say, but because life is like that. You cannot deny that. So love is alignment and following through. This is what love is. Following through alignment and the genuine fear that can only rise because of you being aligned, because there is no way to prepare and plan for that. And then meeting that full fear and continuing being like that, because this is how we are, this is how life is. It's already happening to you. You're just not following fully through it. And I'm just helping to remember that. All of the other capabilities that people speak of, like manipulation of the natural elements, levitation and teleportation, all this is just this distraction if what I have spoken about here it's not your focus. That's it. Check out the links, check out other videos. I am experiencing being limited from the deep state because I have almost zero reach. So if you'd like to, you can share my videos, you can share the message and subscribe, because some people need to hear that, right? It's how it is, fuck it. So that's it. See you in the next video, and I wish you an aligned day. See ya.